Hey, what's up guys, aarava here, and welcome back to the episode of my F1 2021 My Team Career Mode, episode number 24 today for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix in Season 2. If you guys did miss the previous one, a very, very chaotic race at the Monaco Grand Prix, then be sure to go check that one out before you see this one. Perhaps, maybe, that might go down as one of the most chaotic and messy races I will ever have on this game, maybe. I don't know, because that was a pretty messy one, at least this season. That might be the messiest race that we have personally, and also even for the AI, it was a really, messy one with rain at Monaco, never going to end well, safety car involved, and maybe some other things that I'll let you watch if you haven't already. But at the end of that one, Perez, once again, really showing what a great signing he is. He is leading, he's carrying the team, he's carrying me and the team at the moment. He's really outclassing us, and I don't know, I'm a bit worried because we've never been in a situation like this where we've had a teammate be so good in comparison to us, score so many more points than us already with 3 rounds just gone. I mean, Perez is third in the championship now with that third place then off the back of the win at Spain. Ricciardo, 2 wins and a DNF puts him top, but only 4 points though to the Mr. Consistent man Sebastian Vettel, who I thought had actually never been off the podium, but he actually got P4 only at Spain, but still, never outside the top 4, third and second, very strong, and he's only 4 points off the top. We've got Hamilton, who's the lead McLaren with 36 points, doing quite well, but the reigning world champion, only 20 points to his name, and looking very poor in some of these races. So we've got a very topsy-turvy first part of this season, at least. I don't know if it's going to level out and become a bit more tame as we go on. I don't know if it's going to be this crazy all season long. Well, I'm gonna need some medication because this is not good for the heart. It's been so bonkers so far, but I absolutely love it. But getting to the actual nitty-gritty important stuff then, the admin ahead of the Azerbaijan Grand Prix, we're going to go ahead and spend some R&D on the engine side of things. Even though the discounts aren't massive, they're still pretty good, and we can see the discounts aren't coming as quickly as they are in Season 1, so we may as well just buy them. There's no point waiting around. So we're going to go ahead and buy a pure engine power upgrade and also an ERS upgrade, a major one that is as well. So that's going to be a massive booster, because right now, that's the kind of massive advantage that the Merc-powered teams have. Merc, McLaren, and Aston, all of them top 3 in the engine stat. So if we can try and match them and push this Honda engine to where they are, then I think we could actually be in a really dangerous place in terms of, for them, like really mixing up. Right now, Perez has been outperforming the car, I feel, and annoying them. But if we could get those engine upgrades in, continue to upgrade the chassis a little bit more as well, potentially, I think we could legitimately maybe be snapping at the heels somehow of those 3 teams. Because, well, Red Bull and Ferrari right now haven't made so much progress, or as much progress as I thought they would be. So, yeah, really good news for us. Early doors, obviously, but there's still a long way to go in the season, and you never know how quickly other teams might upgrade later on in the proper, heart of the European season. But we've got a department event coming up here, and we decided to go for resource points, agreeing to Perez doing some, I think, testing that was with the R&D department, basically. So 750 R&D added on, which is a chunky amount, really, because that's more than we're getting for practice at the moment, with the kind of limited resources, obviously, with the career mode settings we've got. We're on reduced for R&D, and the AI are on increase, which is why I'm surprised, to be fair, that Red Bull and Ferrari haven't upgraded as much, but maybe they're saving R&D. This is the thing I've been thinking about in the back of my mind as we get now our upgrade coming in for the chassis, lightweight wheel rims coming in, and also I believe we have an air upgrade also that was pending on the car. But what I have been thinking back in my mind is, yeah, cool, we're ahead of Red Bull and Ferrari now in the R&D chart. I think we're officially now ahead of Red Bull as well. So we're the 4th best team on paper. But what I'm thinking is, we've upgraded a lot, and Ferrari plateaued since Spain. They haven't brought a single upgrade. So I'm thinking maybe Ferrari and Red Bull, they're saving up R&D, and later in the season, they may catch us quite rapidly back up. Kind of almost not entirely like a Brawn GP, because we're not in the championship fight, but like a Brawn GP sort of sense of, we've got all the upgrades done early, and now we may have left ourselves vulnerable for, kind of not bringing that many upgrades later on into the season, if you get what I mean. So it's definitely not, it's a possibility. I'm not saying it's going to happen, because we could continue to upgrade ourselves, but if we're not careful, we might see, in a couple of races time, you never know, Ferrari could bring like 2 major upgrades and be right back in the game. So we need to be wary of that. That means we need to continue our development and continue to not put get our foot off the gas, basically, when it comes to upgrading the car. But with that said, then then we're going to move on into Saturday qualifying for the Azerbaijan Grand Prix. Nice and sunny, and there is not a spot of rain in sight for the whole race weekend. That would have been absolute torture, having rain at Monaco and then rain again at Azerbaijan. You know, 2 street circuits back to back with rain. That just is not good for the mind, for sure. Too much concentration. But here in Q1 then, we're getting through, this time not getting held up by Callum Ilott in the Haas. We did so at Monaco. This time around, he does let us through very nicely. We can try and get through on 1 set of tyres to allow, you know, an extra set for Q2 or Q3. Ideally, obviously, we'd get through both sessions on 1 set of tyre, but it looks like our car is a little bit on the back foot maybe here, despite, you know, we just saw there being ahead of Red Bull in the R&D chart. Even Perez, P8 there. I mean, I was going to say only P8, but P8's still very high for us in terms of the midfield fight, the top of the midfield. That's where the top of midfield is. But the Aston Martin's looking very strong then. Obviously, all 3 Merc-powered cars are good in straight line, but maybe Aston Martin have a bit of a slipperier car in a straight line compared to Merc and McLaren, which is ironic because McLaren was always the best at low drag on F1 2020 in our My Team career mode back then on that previous game. So on this year's game, maybe Aston are the kings of a low drag setup. But here we are then in the second part of qualifying, trying to get through and find some improvements with our lap, because obviously the first flyer we did in Q1, we're outside the top 10, so there's some time to find, and that first flyer was not too great, so we've had to burn another set of the Red Bull soft compound tyre here. We're down in P13, so we really desperately need this improved lap time. Purple second sector, much better through the castle section you would have seen there, and across the line, I think that's going to be enough to get us through. Yes, it will, only just though. P10, you know, a 10th away from being knocked out there. Carlos Sainz is the one that falls victim in the Ferrari, just ahead of Fernando Alonso as well. That's a big name as well in the Red Bull car. Verstappen, though, looking slower than Perez, so we are actually quicker than Red Bull, but just in the hands of Perez. I clearly still have some time to find versus Sergio Perez, so, you know, there's no rest, man. There's no, as Lance Stroll is out of this set. I've never seen that. There's yellow flags. Oh, it's the castle section. Oh, God, it looks like Lance Stroll may have crashed it in the castle section. I've never seen that. An AI make a mistake and crash in quali. But as I was going to say anyway, there's no rest up here with Sergio Perez. You know, he's smashing it, got a win, podium Monaco, and he's actually looking, again, quicker than us here. I don't know what it is. He's just extracting time out of the car that I simply am not finding at the moment. Like, he is, I don't know if it's him out driving the car or that's where the car is, and I need to actually pull my socks up and find the time that's there, because I feel like I'm driving the car to the max. I'm getting a lot out of it, but Perez is just finding another gear. Although, to be fair to me, right now, he's in P8 only. Leclerc P9, we're in P10. We did our first lap on a scrub set of tyres, so this is the only lap we have on a new set across the line. And it's no improvement of a position. It's improvement in time, but we're still not good enough to get any higher than P10. But Perez is P8, so we have lost a bit of pace at Azerbaijan compared to Monaco for sure, where Perez got pole position. Verstappen up into P6, splitting the 2 Mercedes cars. That's very surprising. So the Mercs actually on the back foot. They made some mistakes because Red Bull with Verstappen, very, very good to split them. But Aston Martin looking very good. Sebastian Vettel on pole by 3.2 tenths. That is amazing for him, and he is just right there in the championship with Ricardo. Those two, 1-2 here on the front row, 1-2 in the championship, just the other way around. Looks like these two may be the ones to watch in this first part of the season, but you never know with the race. We had a very messy one at Monaco. What's it going to be like around here at Baku? Let's see. Let's go to the grid.
A warm welcome to all of you watching at home to today's Azerbaijan Grand Prix, and a race that in its short history has already proven no stranger to drama. A 4th row start is just about as likely to give you a podium as a pole position would. And remember, in 2017 and 2018, both Lance Stroll and then Sergio Perez took surprise podiums here. Baku City Circuit then, an unpredictable 3.7-mile track around the streets of the Azerbaijan capital. 20 turns for our drivers to navigate today, including the infamous Turn 8, one of the tightest and most challenging corners of the season. It's race day yet again, and joining me for a chat, Anthony Davidson. And our racers are certainly in for a rough day today. What will you be watching for as they go down into turn 1?
Well, the start of the race is always one of the most nerve-wracking parts. You have to hope that everyone is able to get off to a clean start, and this is possibly the trickiest part of the entire race. So many drivers in such a small space, and finding your braking point into turn 1 as well. It's a testament to the driver's skill that there aren't more incidents.
It's time to see how our drivers are stacking up after yesterday's exciting qualifying session. Sebastian Vettel has a clear track ahead of him today. He starts in pole position, and P2 goes to Daniel Ricciardo, a strong showing from the Australian. Looking at the rest of today's grid, we have Norris, Bottas, Max Verstappen and Hamilton, Perez, Leclerc, the owner driver and Fernando Alonso, Gasly, Tsunoda, Lance Stroll, they've taken a grid penalty, and Ocon, Russell, Giovinazzi, and Guan Yu Zhou, and Nicholas Latifi, Mazepin, Mick Schumacher, Sainz, they'll be starting further back after an earlier grid penalty, and Callum Island. And with preparations almost complete, let's head down to the track.
Right, so we've been elevated to P9 thanks to a grid penalty for someone, so that's at least a slight positive. But with Perez just only 2 places ahead of us, even he could not pull the cart any higher. I don't know if it's just a qualifying thing. Maybe race pace might be different for both of us. I'm hoping so. You know, usually we do get quicker in the race. It's going to be a 2-stop as well, nice and aggressive. And remember, this time last season, we did not get the courtesy of even finishing this race because we had our very first ever mechanical failure on this game around Baku. So, not great memories from this circuit, but I'm hoping we can at least finish this Grand Prix and finish strong with an aggressive 2-stop. I always love a good 2-stop. It means we can all push as hard as we can and really just gun for it. So, you know, from 9th place, it's not as high as we're maybe hoping for, but, you know, we can't get too carried away with ourselves. We're still a midfield car, really. We're still in that fight with Red Bull, and I'm still looking behind me at Ferrari just in case. So, we just need to make the most of it today and enjoy it, because I didn't get to enjoy much of this Grand Prix last season, of course. So let's be having it then. After a Monaco Grand Prix to forget, we go to 5 red lights here for round number 4. The Azerbaijan Grand Prix is underway as the lights are out. It's a very slow start for Leclerc. It's a cracking one for Sergio Perez. Round the outside, 3 abreast that was between him and Hamilton and Verstappen. And he's got Verstappen. Hamilton's jumped the Red Bull as well, as we now tried the move on the inside. But Leclerc goes for a kamikaze dive and tries to get 2 in 1. He has got 2 in 1. He tried to go for the 3 in 1. He was alongside Perez into that left-hander. Leclerc, after such a poor start off the 5 red lights, makes up for it. He's now side by side with Verstappen. Those two make a bit of contact. Can we try and slice our way through? It's like a roadblock here, a mobile chicane. Where are they going to go? Where are we going to go? Verstappen a bit slow off the corner, using ERS to push us round the outside to get to the inside for the next right-hander, this chicane. And we are going to get it just about. No contact made, and a very nice move on the Dutchman. So whilst we're making moves for P8, then Lando Norris, he's the man who made a move on that one. We didn't see it really, but he must have got a great exit off the 5 red lights and just got Vettel down to turn 1, because Lando Norris is the one that leads the way. Vettel in second, Bottas third, but not for much longer, because Daniel Ricciardo, the championship leader, going into this race round the outside, showing that he's got some good pace in the McLaren. The McLaren actually having looked a bit slow in the first part of qualifying, Q1 and Q2, looking very quick in this race, as they may be 1 in 3, as Ricciardo is able to finally out-drag Bottas and get up into that 3rd place. But Bottas is right up his chuff. Hamilton as well, they're nose to tail, and Sergio Perez joins the party along with Charles Leclerc as well. So we may even join this train behind Ricciardo, but I don't think it'll be a train for much longer. I would suspect Ricciardo gets away from Bottas, as that McLaren has been very, very quick so far in the hands of Rick Bobby. But we move on later onto lap number 3, and we're looking behind us actually. This is Pierre Gasly with a very odd onboard shot, but Gasly round the outside. He's on a medium compounder tyre, so he was outside the top 10. He's gone for an alternative strategy, trying a 1-stop maybe, is Gasly, and he's overtaken Verstappen. Gasly's the lead Red Bull family driver. I think that's showing more so the tyres are going off. The soft compound doesn't last a lot, rather than the AlphaTauri being that out-and-out quick versus the Red Bull car. I think the medium tyres are already probably the quickest compound on circuit without tyre wear we have, as we now try and look for a move on Leclerc. Went left to right, didn't really fancy anything. Leclerc not budging, not blinking at all, seeing me in his mirrors. But can we do something now? The second bite, the cherry for DRS. Surely we can make a move either left or right. Depends on where Leclerc goes really. Which part will he defend? It looks like to the inside here, so we'll tuck in and then go to the outside. Easy does it when I roll the car through. Leclerc hits the curb on the inside, and so in the end, it's a very nice orchestrated move on the outside that gets us up into P7, and ahead of us now is our teammate Sergio Perez. But moving our attention then onto the front end, Norris v Vettel for the race lead. It's been brewing since the very beginning, since Lando Norris overtook Vettel on lap 1. But here goes the pole man on Saturday, going for the move for P1 to take back his first place down the inside. But will the Brit be able to go around the outside? Yes, he will. They're still side by side on the exit. The move's not done yet, and Norris ahead of Vettel now. They're jockeying for position. Bit of contact made on the inside. It's very tight around Azerbaijan. But Vettel, it's a drag race now. Looks like the Aston has just got it. He's got DRS, so no surprise there. He cuts across, defends the position, and that should be him booked up into first place. Meanwhile, Gasly, we talked about him overtaking Verstappen on the medium tyre. He's now looking to make a move, and is making a move right now on Charles Leclerc. So this is really showing now for us front runners in the top 10. Our softs are very much worn out now. The mediums are the quicker tyre, and Gasly's just overtaken and embarrassed Leclerc and Verstappen in an AlphaTauri, which is definitely a lot slower on the R&D shop. But the running order then is Sebastian Vettel out in the lead, Lando Norris second place, Ricciardo third. The two Mercedes cars with a pretty strong P4 and 5 considering the season they've had so far, to be fair. So Toto Wolff and them may not be too disheartened, but still they'll be looking to hopefully make improvements as they go on, and maybe even this race itself, I don't know. But we're now in on lap number 6 then for our pit stop onto medium tyres. We come into the pit box, and our team are changing our front wing. What? Why are they changing our front? What? Our team are changing our front wing. I didn't ask them to. It was on auto, as default as it is on the game, and I didn't think we had any damage. We must have picked up some damage somewhere, but I honestly didn't notice it, and the damage was so light, if there there clearly was damage, the damage was so light that I didn't feel any difference on the front end or downforce level. So that's so frustrating, because now here we are behind Leclerc, behind Verstappen. We've lost like a good couple of seconds here, so this has really jeopardised our second phase of this Grand Prix, because we're not in clean air now. We're behind all these cars. We have to overtake. Leclerc obviously is racing us, but he's on hard. So the Ferrari, I don't know, is he trying a very audacious one-stop? If he is, we've definitely going to pass him very quickly. But then you've got the two Haas cars that are back markers that we've definitely going to pass. But yeah, we must have got damage somewhere, but it was so little that I honestly didn't notice it visually, or even in terms of handling. So that's more frustrating, because honestly, if my engineers had told me, I would have told them not to change the rear wing. I would have put that setting in the menu. So frustrating times here as we now go for a move on Leclerc. But once again, as we go for a move on the Ferrari, he then makes a move on someone else, gets Schumacher. It's all very, very close and touch and go at the castle section there, as we get Schumi just before the castle. And then Leclerc, we had to kind of stop ourselves smashing into the back of him there as we hit the apex. But we're looking to overtake the Ferrari on the remainder of this lap, and maybe Callum Ilott as well. Yellow flags though. Oh no, Pierre Gasly. What a shame for Gasly. He was doing so well on mediums. He's out with a mechanical failure, a retirement on the left, so nothing to kind of replay and show you, just a simple failure of his car. And so the virtual safety car's out, and there's another car. Oh no, George Russell is also out. Russell and Gasly had a mechanical failure, both of them at the same time. What a shame that is, but that's good news for us then. That's 2 more positions we don't need to worry about of re-overtaking on this 2-stop versus the 1. We still have to worry about Leclerc and Ilott ahead of us, but yeah, I'm just still a bit peeved off, really. You know, I wish the game would tell me when I've got damage like that. Even if it's subtle, the game needs to tell me, needs to indicate either with the engineer telling me or the heads-up display, because I definitely would have put in the heads-up display. I would have said front wing change no, because I was hardly feeling any of the damage. So, you know, it was only visual maybe, and so I would have been happy to continue on. But on the restart then, on the virtual safety car, for the first time in a long while, we absolutely nail the restart on a virtual safety car. We get Leclerc straight away and then make a darting move on Callum Ilott. So lovely to see. But lap number 8 then. So now it would have been Gasly, but your race leader is now Tsunoda on the 1-stop. Ocon as well, Fernando Alonso and Guan Yu Zhou, Giovinazzi Latifi. All these guys yet to pit, all on medium tyres. But it would have been the likes of, I think it would have been Gasly and Russell 1-2 right now. As Ricciardo now makes a move on Nicholas Latifi round the outside. Oh God, he clouts the wall though. Rick Bobby, what are you doing? You're in such a good position. Ricciardo, I think we didn't mention it, but he actually started on medium, so he was in a really good position there in the race, but he's clouted the wall, and I'll be very surprised if he didn't get any damage from that. And Perez, look at Perez go! Oh, what a move! Doesn't quite pull it off, but he went for it. Sergio Perez went for the inside move on that fast left-hander, usually flatter and quali. What a place to try a pass, ballsy as ever from our man Checo. But Hamilton's in, Ricciardo's in. What's happened? Those two, that's an early pit stop for Ricciardo for sure. He was on mediums, but Hamilton, he was on a 2-stop. So the fact he's pitting now, maybe he's got damage, something we didn't see. Maybe we have to check a replay a little bit later on. But right now we're just watching on in this battle between Carlos Sainz, Sergio Perez and Valtteri Bottas. Bottas being overtaken by the Ferrari man, and Perez, can he make the double move? And now he's going to make at least one move of the Merc and then go round the outside of the Spaniard with this very awkward camera angle. Thank you very much, Cody's, but a great double move for Sergio Perez. This man is flying once again. He may have been a bit slower in quali, our car may have been slower in quali, but this man is now flying in this race. The next man up is Lando Norris, so I think Perez is in the realms of like the podium positions this is, because Vettel was P1, Lando P2, remember. So that's crazy, but let's look at a replay then. This is what happened with Ricciardo. So went for the move in. Oh, to be fair, it wasn't even his fault. The Alfa Romeo just pushed into him and just kind of almost jumped the curb and pushed him into the wall. So unfortunate for Ricciardo. And then I think the same fate is going to happen to Hamilton here. And it's even worse there, really, because Sainz really turned into him and pushed him right into the wall. So that's why Hamilton and Ricciardo have made early stops. Damage to their front wings. Ricciardo was already on a 1-stop, so he may be able to go to hard to the end. But Hamilton, that's ruined his entire race. As now Verstappen goes for a move on Sainz, and Sainz has done it again! Sainz, for the second time, has put someone in the wall. And now can we go for a move on Verstappen? Because Verstappen surely has damage. You would think so, with that move he just made. That looked like taking candy from a baby. That was very, very easy. And we're up into P12. 2.4 the gap to Valtteri Bottas, a Mercedes car. But you know what? With the pace Perez is showing, why shouldn't we be closing up to him? Maybe going for a move as he now gets through the traffic of the Alfa Romeos and slows himself up. So the Alphas are helping us out here. So if we can try and get past Latifi and Giovinazzi as quick as possible, we are there with Bottas. The gap has closed from 2.4, but equally behind me, the Ferrari of Sainz is still lurking as we're losing time behind the rear wing of the Alfa Romeo. So here we go. Oh, very close to the wall, but a move on the right-hand side. We're going to have to try and really dive bomb this to make sure we don't get put in the wall. We almost get put in the wall because Latifi made contact with us on the left, but no damage to our barge board area, thankfully. But that corner seems to be very dangerous with the AI, but I just double-checked. Yeah, no damage on the barge board or floor area for our car when Latifi bounced into us. So we can just go on and carry on and make this move on Giovinazzi. Will be within the DRS. We've got a little bit of ERS to play with, but not too much, 25%. So need to be wary of the ERS. We need to try and harvest some more, but going for the very easy pass then in a straight line. Our car is very slippery in a straight line these days, and we're past and through up into P10. We've still got a couple of cars though ahead on a 1-stop that we need to overtake as well as we go on through this race. We're now on lap number 13 up into P7 as it stands, because obviously you can see Ocon's made his one and only pit stop onto hards. We've all got to make another one, remember, on medium. So the likes of Alonso, who is not coming in quite yet, but they might be soon, they will have the track advantage. But we go round the outside of Valtteri Bottas. Plain sailing. He didn't even put up much of a fight there in a straight line. And we're up into P5 then, looking very pretty. But into the next corner, oh, the rear end snaps as the rear locks. We went a bit too deep and too late on the brakes. The rear end started locking up. The rear end got out of shape. And Bottas now gets a good run with that to go round the outside. And he's going to pinch us into the wall. It's so close on the left and the right. But we just somehow managed to maintain the track position. You know, even though, you know, Perez overtook him, we've overtaken him. He is in a Mercedes car. He is still the best car on the grid, technically. So I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to, annoy us. Having overtaken him, and right now he can't annoy us because we're going to come in now for our second pit stop of the afternoon at lap 16 then, 10 laps to go, medium tyres. I'm hoping that we don't have a front wing change this time. That would be very annoying. Don't think we do, but the rear tyres were very, very cooked. very worn out here, so definitely want this pit stop now. But let's look on the left-hand side on the minimap and the ladder. Where are people? Norris, this is, fighting Mazepin in the Williams car, and they're side by side. Mazepin going for the move. What is going on here? He got the driver of the day last episode, and he's now here in P8 fighting Norris. I don't know, this one stop is doing a madness for some of these guys in terms of where they are on circuit, but we're going to go not quite for the move on the left. We need to be careful of Nikita Mazepin. We know what he's like. Maybe we need to, watch ourselves and go down the inside now. Instead here, easy does it over the curb, plant the power up into P8, and now we can kind of settle down and then look to maybe chase after Lando Norris. But Bottas is in for his pit stop now, and in clean air, it looks like the Mercedes car is still pretty damn quick, and in the traffic we've been slow with the Williams, and Bottas has got us. We try a little cheeky darting move into turn 2, doesn't work out, but we have DRS on the fin. Can we just straight away re-overtake him and get the position we had on him pre the pit stops? He goes defensive to the left. We go with a darting, really late move on the right, and we're up back into P7, looking to chase after Norris, but not quite yet, because Bottas is good through the two left-handers. He's round the outside or down the hill. We could have definitely put him in the wall like all the AI did, but we were respectful of him. But Bottas, where did that pace come from? In a straight line there. He just kind of shot out of nowhere in the last sector, but we've saved enough ERS now in this third part of the race to now try and overuse it now to get us back past. We were quite far behind there as we ran through that left and right, but now we're going to get the DRS in the slipstream, gaining. Bottas squeezes, and it's a bit close on the front right. Yellow flags though. For what? For who? Is it Norris? Norris is slow. Oh, he's got engine failure. He's smoking all ahead of us, and we could have nearly crashed into him. We weren't careful there. Smoke screen from Lando Norris, and we're up into now P6. That's one more free position for us today. We got Hamilton, Ricciardo, Norris all taking themselves out of the Grand Prix. Norris with a proper DNF, Ricciardo and Hamilton with that extra pit stop. And I believe, Ricciardo, well, to be fair to him, he's still P8, but Hamilton, look at Hamilton, he's way down in P16. For someone who is flying high is Sergio Perez. He's in P4 right now, and he's going for a move on Lance Stroll for P3. The podium position is maybe in sight with 7 laps to go. Perez down the inside of the Aston Martin up into P3, and that is definitely for position in terms of a 2-stopper. But Yuki Tsunoda in P2, he's on the 1-stop, and he should be slow. So Perez, I don't want to tempt fate, but he could get up into P2 by then this one. But first and foremost, he needs to finish this move, because Lance Stroll actually tried to re-overtake him, but he's got it now. He's up into P3, and he's having a block. This could be 3 podiums in a row for Checo. That is absolutely bonkers, and I reckon he would get Tsunoda just as, Bottas gets us on lap 19 then with DRS. Easy to make a pass like that around this circuit with DRS. We're just going to make sure we're patient and we stick with Bottas and stick in his DRS, and we can get back past him on the next lap, onto lap number 20, using a bit of ERS. We need to be careful. Again, we're getting into the kind of 20% region. DRS open though. Bottas squeezing to the left, and we keep our nerve and keep our foot on the loud pedal and make the move on the left. Ocon now is the next car up the road. He's on a 1-stop, so again, like with Yuki to Perez, we should be able to overtake Ocon, and we are going to overtake him because we close up so much so quickly into the last sector, lap 20 onto lap 21. We should be able to get Ocon, maybe even before the straight, because we're pretty much pushing him through these corners on the hard compound. And here we go then. We're going to go for a ballsy move, not quite through the left and right, but now through this kink on the right hander. Ocon gives us a bit of a squeeze there. It's a little bit nerve-wracking, you never know what the AI would do, and there may be a kind of a worry that'll squeeze us. And Bottas, as we make the move on Ocon, hang on, I didn't even realise that Bottas tried to make a move on us as we now defend against Valtteri. Both of us get past Ocon, but I did not even clock that. Did any of you guys? Bottas just tried to overtake me very sneakily, and he's going to try and do it again on lap 21. We're feeling a bit slow for some reason, as well now on lap 21.
Okay, there appears to be an issue. We're currently investigating.
And maybe this is why. Have we got an issue on the engine? Don't tell me. 2 times in a row, season 1 to season 2. We're going to end an Azerbaijan Grand Prix with a DNF. I don't know what's wrong with the car right now, but we have been looking a little bit slower than Bottas. He's charging here in with DRS as well on the right-hand side.
Looks like we're experiencing an ERS software glitch.
And we're going to nearly hit Bottas into turn 1. The ERS is stuck open. It's stuck deployed, and so that was a very hairy very brake zone. That was the worst timing to find out and for that failure to come in as we were hitting the brakes, because obviously if you're deploying ERS still, you're going quicker and trying to accelerate the rear tyres as you brake. So that was very, very sketchy. Eventually that issue does fix itself, but it takes to the second last lap of the Grand Prix. So now you can see we're not deploying ERS anymore, but up until this second last lap, literally the ERS was stuck open like it was at Russia last season, where it's just deploying everywhere and just draining the battery. But now here we are in the last 2 laps. Can we get Tsunoda and get P5? Bottas overtook me and then just charged on. Bottas, to be fair to him right now, showing that and we've got another failure. We've got a rear wing failure. How many failures do we want? A rear wing failure. Okay, so we have to do the old-fashioned way on Yuki Tsunoda if we want to win. But Bottas, he's climbed and overtaken Tsunoda and Stroll. So even though the Merc, the team hasn't been that great this season, Bottas showing that the Merc is still clearly a very, very quick car. Bottas in 3rd place, Perez in 2nd. But the man of the hour is the German, the 4-time world champion. Sebastian Vettel wins again in Formula 1.
Yes. What a race! Yes, man! Thank you. Car was amazing today. Woohoo!
But we've still got a race to do. The last lap of the Grand Prix, the last sector, old-fashioned, no DRS available, just the ERS and just vibes as we go into the last sector. Left and right, lining up the pass. The AlphaTauri slow in a straight line, though. We've got the ERS to use. We pull to the left. He's on the hard compound. We've got the grip as well. And we're through on the last straight, on the last lap to get P5. Flying very, very high. That is a very solid race position, I'd say, from P10, especially considering that kind of time lost with the front wing change on the pit stop. But it doesn't matter, because again, Perez has beaten us and he's got a 3rd podium in a row. A 3rd podium. Are you kidding me?
It's never an easy race here in Azerbaijan. There's drama around every corner, but they've come through to take a brilliant win here today. Anthony Davidson, how do you think they were able to set themselves apart today?
Well, this was a real team victory. They put together a solid strategy today that appeared well suited to the conditions out on track. The driver did everything that was expected of them in the moment to really execute the team's plan to perfection. A shining example of how F1 really is a team sport.
The Aston Martin team will be very happy with today's performance and the final result. Another display of excellent driving and excellent teamwork, and a well-deserved first place finish.
Everyone liked that. Sebastian Vettel on the top step of the podium for Aston Martin. Absolutely sensational there. Perez, what a man. P2, 3 podiums in a row. I am actually speechless. I don't think we've ever witnessed, I don't think you guys have ever witnessed a teammate that has been this good compared to me in a series like this. He is carrying this team on his back. 18 points for him, 10 for me, another 8 lost to him, basically. I mean, yeah, the guy, I'm speechless. I actually don't have an answer, which is the scary part. I don't have an answer for this. Next race is Canada, one of my favourite races. If he is still beating me thoroughly there, then we've got an issue, because that's usually a place where I'm always quick, and I can always try and beat my teammate and match other rivals around Montreal. So if we're not quick there, then we have an issue. But Sebastian Vettel, what a win for him. What a day for Aston Martin. 2 top 4 finishes. Merc, Hamilton way out the points, and then McLaren only 1 car on the points, and it's only 1 point for Ricciardo. Lando Norris with a DNF, so it's a massive swing in the championship. Surely Vettel leads the way by 11 points now to Sergio Perez, who's in 2nd place. Our teammate's in 2nd. He is in, technically right now as it stands, a championship fight with Vettel and Ricciardo. Hamilton in 4th, Bottas up to 5th place. Gasly is still beating me. Gasly in an AlphaTauri is still beating, even in a better car, I'm still fighting Pierre Gasly in the championship. And in the constructors, you can see how good of a race that has been for Aston Martin, clearly ahead by 25 points in 1st place. But we're in 2nd. We're ahead of McLaren and Mercedes. Perez is carrying this team to heights it shouldn't be in, as well as AlphaTauri for Gasly. AlphaTauri ahead of Ferrari and Red Bull. Bonkers standings right now. I mean, we've got a long way to go. There's enough time for it to kind of settle down and kind of go into a normal holding pattern. But right now, this standings and championship is looking absolutely berserk, and I'm so here for it. I'm so here for it. But like I said, next time's Canada. That's going to be an important one if I want to try and bounce back, because that's one of my strongest circuits. But if you guys did enjoy this one, Sergio Perez, a 3rd podium in a row, be sure to hit that like button. Let me know what you thought in the comments below. If you're around here, then do get subscribed for weekly Formula 1 content, and I'll see you guys next time. Goodbye.